Hello and welcome to this vlog. Now this vlog is going to discuss or deal with the quotient rule, meaning a division rule for dealing with exponents. It means we're going to have to deal with fractions. We all love fractions, right? Now we have fractions with exponents in the numerator and denominator. What do we do? Well, we have to discuss. The first issue is they have to have the same base. If it's 5 over 5 and the two different exponents are there, or x's and y's or z's, it's fine. We apply our rule. If we have x over z, no, the bases aren't like. The base has to be the same to apply this rule here. A to the m divided by a to the n. What you do is you subtract the exponents to figure out the answer. Now, again, a is not allowed, cannot be equal to 0. We can have negative bases or positive bases, fine, but a cannot be equal to 0. These are examples. We have 5 8 over 5 to the 8 over 5 to the 4. Now we subtract 4 from 8, so it's 5 to the 8 minus 4, and the answer is 5 to the 4th. Okay, let's go through our examples now. Exercise 3. The numerator always has the first part of the subtraction expression. So it's 6 minus 3. We follow the order, top then bottom, numerator then denominator. The answer would be 5 to the 6 minus 3. It'd be 5 cubed. Okay. Now on to the example B. We'll see what happens here. Now, remember, we have negative exponent because we have 8 minus 12. Some people get confused. 5 to the negative 4 and it's already the denominator, so it goes up. No. 5 to the negative 4 right now is a whole number in the numerator. We move it to the denominator and the exponent becomes positive. If you wanted to go ahead and multiply that, you could. 5 to the 4th power is 625. But for now, we want to show the rule and how the rule works, so this is just fine. Right now, don't be concerned with multiplying everything out. Just apply the rule. Now, C, we have a negative in the denominator. We're going to subtract a negative, so be careful and use parentheses. Okay, so y to the 7th power. You could figure this out a different way, because we have y to the negative 2 in the denominator. You could move it to the numerator and figure out the answer that way. Either way is just fine. We have The more we learn the rules, the more we know we can work different ways to get the same answer. D. Okay, now we have x to the negative 4 over x to the negative 2. We'll see what happens here. And that's our final answer. Okay? Now, the next section of this vlog. Okay, now we're going to talk about the quotient rule if we have a fraction raised to a negative power. If we have the whole fraction raised to a negative power, the whole fraction does flip. You take the reciprocal of that. Okay, so you see we had 2/5 raised to the negative 4th power. When we flipped the fraction and the exponent went positive, now we apply the power rule and we distribute the 4 into the fraction, into the numerator and denominator. You can multiply that yourself at 625 over 16. That would be the answer we have. Yeah. So let's move on to B. X over 2y raised to the negative 4 power. The easy part is flipping the fraction. Okay, and now the power rules applies. So we have to distribute the 4 and multiply it with the exponents of 2 and y and x. I'll show you right now. See, I multiplied the power, I applied it twice. 16y to the 4th over x to the 4th. We clean up our fractions like this. Now we'll look at our last example, C. Remember our power rule for exponents. 2 to the 3rd power, y cubed to the 3rd power again becomes y to the 9th power. And x squared becomes x to the 6th because of the power rule. You multiply your exponents. All right, you see how our rules become applied through our quotient rule, our negative power rule, and our division rule. Thank you. See you next vlog.